Okay, then we start up with like automation framework. Okay, so initially we try to come up with like automation frameworks. So there are different types of frameworks you will come across in your qtp front. So majorly there are five types of frameworks you will come across. Those are nothing but like okay, so those are nothing but like keyword driven framework, keyword sorry record and playback. Also you can consider as linear framework. Okay, then modular framework, also you can consider as reusable framework. So then you can go for like sorry data driven framework. Okay, so then you can go for like hybrid framework. Then sorry, you can go for like keyword driven framework, keyword driven framework. So these are the different frameworks you will get a chance in your qtp front. Okay, so record and before going frameworks we'll try to see like what is framework. Before that, whenever you were here like automation tool, initially when you haven't joined like automation course, or when you haven't aware of like really automation, at that time I am sure you could have thought like automation tool means it will take care each and everything. That means like manual testing, it will convert into automation and it will try to test the application. You could have thought like that, but it's not really right. So qtp or silk test or selenium or something like that. So what these tools will do is like doesn't do anything for you, just these tools provide you interface. You have to come up with each and everything, right? So exactly why I'm saying this one is like framework. Okay, so as soon as you see here framework, you would have thought like it's some tool. No, your idea is wrong, your thoughts are wrong. Okay, so framework is nothing but like how you can define it as no standard definition, nowhere you will get it up, but with your experience you can define. So framework, how you can define as standard process or standard approach to come up with automation for a specific application for better management and maintenance purpose is nothing but framework. That's what I'm saying. Standard approach or standard process, some steps, some process you will try to follow for converting manual test cases to automation. So for which application you are working, so why you will try to follow this process? For better management and maintenance purpose. So that is nothing but like framework. Okay, so framework is nothing but like standard process or standard approach to come up with automation for a specific application is nothing but framework. Other batch I come up with one framework you see for Salesforce application. So how it looks like, some folders. This is nothing but like framework, just that's it. There is no tool, there is no software or something like that. Okay, so you were created all these folders and you are coming up with each and everything accordingly. I will explain you what each and every folder contains. I'm just showing you. Okay, so that is nothing but framework. So you are coming up with like 5 different types of frameworks. So during starting days of your automation, so how you are implementing automation framework is like which are the manual test cases you are having. Those manual test cases you will pick up and you will record. You may be aware of like each and every automation tool will be having like record feature, right? So with the help of record feature you will try to record your manual steps. Okay, you will try to record your manual steps. Okay, so the recorded script may not meet your 100% automation expectations. So at that point of time so you will try to enhance by inserting checkpoints or synchronization points or virtual objects or regular expressions or like recovery scenario. By any of the way you will try to enhance. Then whenever you get release you will try to execute against that latest release. So that means like you are just recording and playing back. There is no standard process. Okay, so this kind of framework you can consider as record and playback. So also you can consider as linear framework. Means in this folder structure you will be having only test scripts, nothing else. Okay, your manual test cases are having like 500 test cases. So in test scripts folder, your test scripts folder will be having your 500 automated test scripts. Just that's it. That is nothing but like your sorry, record and playback framework. Okay, then we can go for like modular framework. Any of the programming language, if you go for each and every programming language, you will be coming up with like reusability. Means like which are the repeatable steps you are having. Those repeatable steps you will try to make them as functions and you can reuse them in your main program. Exactly in your automation also, while coming up with automation for a specific application, you will be coming up with creating reusable actions, and those reusable actions you will be that means like here you are coming up with like reusable kind of framework. So that framework you can consider as reusable framework or modular framework. That means repeatability you are implementing. So what is reusable? I have explained in detail like so many times whenever we come across like reactions or advantages of automation by taking example like Gmail. Let us suppose your application is having 10,000 test cases. So from there you'll pick up test cases, you'll divide them into two categories like which we can automate and cannot automate. What are the factors you'll consider for dividing them into can automate and cannot automate? So many factors I have explained in detail. I believe I don't want to explain once again. Okay, so 1000 test cases you have to come up with, you have to make these 1000 test case whatever you pick up for automation as independent. So you have to make each and every test case independent, means log in and log out. You have to log into the application for each and every test case and log out. Okay. Okay, so for login and logout you have to make it as the usable access, and those one you can insert in main scripts. So like that, whatever the test cases you were picked up to go for automation, from those test cases which all are the repeatable steps you are having, all those repeatable steps you will try to analyze, and those repeatable steps you can come up with like reusable components. I can say like actions or functions. If you implement that kind of framework, that is nothing but like reusable framework. So this folder structure, if we take, this is nothing but like reusable framework. Okay, I will explain you one by one. Test actions folder. So as I said, like which are the repeatable steps you are having, all those repeatable steps you'll try to put up here in actions folder. Okay, so all of your reusable actions you can put under actions folder. Then documents, the documents are nothing but like help documents, your framework supported. So automation framework supported, you can say like how you have to come up with automation training demos, videos, or process related, standards related, these kind of documents. Simply I have to say means like framework supported documents placed here. Okay, so as soon as you design, somebody else may get joined. So for him, each and everything from scratch you have to provide is very difficult, right? So you will provide very high level, then you can share these documents, then he can go to these documents and he can get to know what exactly the framework, how you have to implement. So what is the process you are implementing? Right? Okay, so this test document contains, that is the folder environment. I could have told so many times, the main purpose of automation is it needs to be executed in multiple environments and multiple releases. Okay, so which environment you have to execute? So before executing those environment parameters, you have to update to this excel. This environment, what it will be containing is like XLS kind of okay, so XLS, sorry, XML file. Okay, XML file, there you have to update different parameters like what is the URL, what is the username, what is the password, what is the database server, what is the web server. All those one you have to update and you can put for execution. Okay, so that is nothing but like environment. This is nothing but like XML file it will be containing. Okay, function library. So I could have told so many times. Okay, so you have to uh, you have to come up with like you have to execute data, means so many test cases will be executed. For those test cases, let us suppose like composable test case. So for that one, two field CC, BCC, subject matter, or registration. If you take like first name, last name, middle name, like that, so many fields you are coming up with. So all those fields you have to this is nothing but like test data, right? So this test data, how you can pass this test data, how you can pass through XLS file, right? So the best way is through XLS files or XML files also you can pass, or INF files also. Okay, let us suppose you are passing this input data through XLS. So you have to read data from XLS. So what you have to do? You have to come up with function, right? So exactly, you may be aware of like while executing your automation framework, you will be coming up with like two types of reports. Those are nothing but like QTP built-in reports and user defined reports like customized reports. Okay. Sorry. Built-in reports are nothing but like whenever you execute qtp. Okay, so qtp, it will give you like result like either pass or fail. That means like in your test script, which are the steps you are having, each and every step for pass or fail, it will give you in your qtp results. Okay, but automation, if you think really means how we'll implement, what is the main purpose is like main scope is domain expert will be there and automation engineer will be there. Domain expert, what he will do is domain expert is good in application domain. Okay, so domain expert he will do that one, but automation engineer what he will do is like he is pretty good in automation. Okay, so automation engineer, by getting domain knowledge from domain expert, he will be coming up with framework implementation then give it to domain expert. So domain expert what he will do is he will be using this framework for developing, for testing that application. So at this point of view, domain expert he is not good in automation or technically strong. So your qtp bulletin reports are technical, right, little bit, so they may not understood, or meanwhile clients also, so they may not understand qtp how it works or how it will generate. At that point of time those reports may not work out. Okay, at that point of time your qtp reports may not work out. So what I have to do at this point of time is, at this point of time you can come up with customized reports. Okay. So like summary and in detail kind of reports. Okay, so summary, how many test cases you put for execution. Okay, so test case 1, what is your test case will do, what is the status pass or fail. Okay, what is the start time, start time, execution end time. Test case 2, what is exactly pass or fail. Test case 3 pass or fail. Test case 4 pass or fail. Like this summary kind of reports will come across. And in detail, let us suppose specific test case got failed. You click on that link, it will allow you to navigate to other page. But here the thing is, I have copied from another computer. That's why the path got varied. So that's why that is the error you are getting. But you'll implement, you don't get that error. Okay. So this is Excel means Excel. You can come up with like this. See how it looks like logs, event by event log you'll be coming up with. Okay, so test case 1.html if we go see test case 1, so title also you can give like verify successful login. So what are the different steps it will take to perform. Okay, so like this you can come up with this one. qtp doesn't generate, you have to come up with. Okay, so again for this one, this kind of summary or in detail kind of report, either XLS or text files or INFs or something like that you can come up with. So whatever the way you have to come up with, again you have to come up with VB script functions. So all these kind of framework supported functions you'll put under like test function library folder. Okay, so like this, these are the function, these are the different functions I come up with. Okay, so this is nothing but like function library. Then I said, right, so before executing, for each and every test case you will get a chance to pass test data. Okay, so how many test cases you want to execute, you'll be updating before executing like test data, and you'll go for execution. It will pick up test data from this XLS file, and it will try to perform testing. So inputs will be containing like test inputs folder. And manual test cases you want to mention means you can go for like manual test cases. Okay, so master driver, this one drives whole of your framework. So while going home, you just double click on this master driver tomorrow morning you will come and you'll be able to see in summary report like automation execution report. So these many skips you put for execution, these many skips got passed, these many skips got failed, like that summary and in detail kind of report you will be able to see. Okay, so qtp doesn't do anything. This is vp script, you have to come up with again each and everything. Okay, you have to come up with each and everything. Okay. So this is nothing but like master drive. Any recovery scenario, unexpected events you have to handle, right? So those kind of unexpected events you can pass it up here in test recovery scenario. One concept will come across, right? Then results, all of your results while executing your automation framework, so it will get logged here. Okay, so test scripts, so this is what your main test scripts it will be containing. Then shared object repository. Your shared object repository will be containing here in your shared object repository s4 test s4. Okay, so from this framework, from this folder structure, your removed test inputs, let us assume test inputs, that means inputs you are not passing. This framework you can consider as modular framework or reusable framework. Test inputs you can exclude, you can remove from this folder structure. Okay, that means like remaining all folders your framework containing, that kind of framework you can consider as modular framework. Today any of the application if you go for, definitely you will come up with like some reusable components, right? So you can come up with like modular framework or reusable framework. Okay, okay, exactly. Any of the application if you go for like data plays major role. Okay, data plays major role, right? Okay, so that data how you can, that means like data is driving your automation framework, right? So that means like from this folder structure test inputs you will include and access you will ignore, you will delete. Okay, so except actions which are the other folder structure you are having, each and everything your framework containing. So that kind of framework you can consider as data driven framework. Okay, that means inputs folder, so inputs for which data you have to execute your framework you are updating, right? That means like your data is driving your framework, that's why you can consider as data driven framework. Then what is hybrid framework? The idea is very simple. Hybrid framework is nothing but like combination of data driven plus modular driven is nothing but like hybrid framework. That means entire folder structure, that means like test inputs as well as test actions. Okay, that means like both the combination of data driven plus modular driven, that kind of framework you can consider as hybrid framework. These days whatever the framework you are coming up with, most of the frameworks are hybrid frameworks. One more important point you have to remember, you have to come up with hybrid framework means it's not like exactly this kind of folder structure, exactly not this folder structure, looks like this. Okay, the customized way you can come up with. Okay, it's not like here you'll get around 10 folders exactly, there is no restriction like you have to contain 10 these folders. Okay, the names of folders are the folders may get count, folders count also may get less, and names of the folders are may get vary. Okay, so that is one point you have to remember. Okay, so this is one thing you have to remember. Then what is keyword driven framework? So before going to keyword driven framework, if you go and record in QTP, you will get a chance for record, right? So all this, what are the manual operations you perform, okay, each and everything, it will get record in your QTP. There click or set or set secure or select. What do you call this one? This one are nothing but like keywords, right? So that means your keywords are driving your automation framework, right? So that's why you can consider it like keyword driven. QTP is advanced keyword driven keyword driven automation tool. Okay, QTP is advanced keyword driven automation framework tool. uh, oh god, morning I have created some keywords. Hmm. Just a second. Hmm. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so keyword driven framework means sorry, which browser, page, object type, object name, validation 1, validation 2, value and result. Again, these columns are not constant. You can come up with however you feel comfortable. Okay, so here which browser, which page, what is the object type, are nothing but like your standard classes. Which are the standard classes you will come across? Push button, radio button, list box, combo box. So that is the object type you will come up with. So what is the object and which object? So username or password or sign in. So what is the object? So that object name, what is the type of validation you have to do? So if it is your means about Gmail means you have to click on that link. So you have to validate whether that link is navigating to that specific page or not. Okay, so that is nothing but like navigation. Okay, so like that. So if you are, if it is username, you have to set, right? So your setting means what is the value you are setting. So once you set, you have to make sure whether this value set to username properly or not. So this is the value, that is a set means you have to validate. So these are the different things. So what is the browser, what is the page, which are the, what are the object types, and which are the objects. So what you have to, on that object what you have to validate. So like this you will come up with keywords in your Excel as well. So you have to come up with VBScript functions in such a manner like from here you will get it up and you have to validate. So in such a manner you have to come up with the functions. Okay, so we will be implementing once we done with like our hybrid framework. Once we come up with like data driven plus modular driven, so finally we go for like keyword driven framework. So at that time I can show you like how exactly you can come up with keyword driven framework. As of now I believe you could have got some idea like what is keyword driven framework. Okay, so keyword driven framework is nothing but like modular driven, data driven plus the keywords. This kind of framework, that means like here just keywords you are passing to XLSP. Okay, that means like keywords are driving your framework. So that's why this kind of framework you can consider as keyword driven framework. Okay, so these are the different things you will come across, that is nothing but like different types of framework in your QTP. Okay, so next session onwards what we do is like we will start up with framework implementation for a specific application. Okay, one project will take it up for that application, we'll come up with framework implementation. Okay.